I've been playing around with GPT4o for data analysis, and I want to show you exactly what it can do and what it can't do. So I have this e-commerce data set here. I've made a couple of additions to it. I've thrown in a couple of errors, and I want to assess this in a couple of different ways. So the good thing about GPT4o is that you can now look at your data in a nice graphical interface. I'm asking it to help me with some data analysis, and first to look for nulls and errors in the data analysis. And it's picked up all the null values I've given it, and then it goes through the unique values in each column. So this is just Python in the background, but it really gives somebody who didn't know how to use Python, gives them a very nice description of what's going on in the data set. And then it suggests some next steps. So in this one, it's suggesting to clean the nulls and proceed, or analyze outliers. So just ask it to clean the nulls. It'll go through there and it'll fill the nulls with a median or mode. Probably a little generic, but it makes sense all the same. And then it gives me a number of next steps that I'd like to do. So I'm going to ask it for a next step myself. So I want to show the potential outliers. Now I've put a massive outlier into this and I want to see if it would find it. Normally what you do, you'd create a box plot and look for outliers in that box plot. And when I look at the box plots that it's created, I can see that there's serious outliers in there. So you can see here that sales is somewhere where I put an outlier, a price of 500 and something compared to a normal price of between 100 and 1,000. So I've asked it then to highlight that extreme outlier in the data set, and there you can see the massive sales number. And then I can ask it just to remove that outlier from the data set. And this is really good in terms of you can pull the data back, you can see what's happening, and then you can give it instructions and then it'll update your data set. So I want to explain the data set and present some statistics now. So it's going through each column and telling me what it thinks that column is. And then for the numeric columns, it's giving me a mean, median, standard deviation, minimum and max. And this is what we would do in Python to describe a data set. It's also trying to give me a visual representation of graphs here. There's nothing there and that happens quite a bit. And also it's giving me some key insights from the data. I want to dig deeper now into one of my projects, lipstick. So I've asked it to give me a monthly sales and average discount in those months for lipstick. And I can sort this table how I want it. So I can sort it and then I can pull it out into a Excel sheet or wherever I need that. And with the interactive tables, you can just dig into that a little bit deeper. You can also download this as an Excel file, and the same goes for the graphs. I'm now asking to enrich the data with specific columns, and it gives me a long list of columns, some of which make sense, some of which don't make sense, but I can now add these to the data set. So this is great in terms of brainstorming some columns you'd want to add to the data, and then any of these you can just add them to the data set, and it's done that now. It's creating me a new data set with those additional columns. It's giving me a explanation of how it's calculated them, and then I can go into the data set itself and check the columns have been added. Next I want to do is add some graphs. So I'm asking for 3 graphs here, and it's really made a little bit of a mess with this. The graphing isn't the best thing in the world if you're looking for a dashboard or more than one graph. You really need to talk about a specific graph and give it really detailed instructions. So I'm asking it here for the comparison of sales to rating for headphones over time. And then I can work on the graph, and I've added this just to a comparison of sales to ratings for all product without that time component. And you can really change the graph in place, which is great. This is one of the best things about this, is that you can have the graph in the screen and you can change it on the fly. So I've pulled this up here and I want to filter that down to books and candles. That's changed my graph on the screen so I can see the new graph. I don't have to code it again. And now I'm asking to adjust to Google colors, which doesn't really work. So overall, I think this is super useful, but still has a good bit of a way to go. I think there's the bones of something brilliant there, but we'll see how that evolves over time. Hope you found this video useful. Follow for more.